All right, folks. Looks like we are live. I think everything is up and going. If you don't mind, type into the chat if you can find that. Let me know where you're from. Let me know you can hear me, and we'll get going in just a second. I see a heart. I think that's a good sign. I got one heart so far, so I think we're up and going. Excellent. See another one. I appreciate that. And cool. Wisconsin, Tennessee. All right. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you guys so much for showing up. You should see me in the top right of the screen, I believe. I think I got everything ready to go. Yeah, keep telling me where you're from. I love to see this every time we do something like this where everybody's tuning in from Seattle. Cool. All the way down the road from Breeding, Kentucky. So cool. All right, let's see here. Yeah, we got folks going. Awesome. I want to be very respectful of everybody's time. I have gone through this multiple times now, and we should be seeing about a 45-minute flow here. I think we set it aside for an hour, so I want to be respectful of everybody's time and keep you guys on schedule. So we'll jump right into it now, if you don't mind. Breaking free from a broken system. This is the 7% stat, which I'm going to talk a lot about, obviously. Something I've become more and more passionate about as I've learned more and more. Kind of been a little bit of a thorn in my side. I take it personal, this stat that I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to get right into it. Real quick, just to remind you guys, some of you may have kind of heard the word. I got a big premiere this evening that you guys are going to be seeing for the very first time. Nobody else has ever seen this before. So I am very excited about that. That should drop at about 3/4 of the way through the presentation. So stick with me. I'm going to get through a lot of things. Kind of fired up about this whole topic, if you can't tell. But yeah, I got this special premiere. I'm so excited to drop it tonight. I've been working on it for a long time. All right. So if we look at the number 7%. So if we take 7 from 100, obviously you guys know that's going to leave us with 93%. That means 93% of Americans are not able to call themselves healthy. And if I can say so very eloquently, I think that is messed up. And I think you guys agree with me. I'm sure you do. To put it into a picture that the system is failing us, again, stating the obvious here, to put it into a graphic for you, essentially this graph represents the 38 most industrialized, most wealthy countries in the world. So some of those are more dark, just to kind of be highlighted on this. So I want to break this down for you, and just a few simple points. If you look at the bottom left there, India does not spend much on their healthcare. They also don't live particularly long. If you look about halfway through the graph over to your right, up at the top, Japan, they spend more on their healthcare, and also they live longer. And then over there, all the way to the right, it looks like we're on an island over there in the yellow font. The U.S., the good old U.S. We spend the most. We outspend everybody when it comes to healthcare, and I have that X on the arrow because we're going up on the list. We're not getting the return on investment, spending more money. We're not living longer because of that. To add some more context to this, currently we spend $4.3 trillion a year on chronic diseases. A little more. That number was just 1.6 trillion in the year 2000. So we're coming right up any time now to triple that number since 2000 on a chronic disease. I want to be very upfront as well. I am very proud to be American, and as well, not only am I proud to be American, I want to call it like it is. The more money we throw at a problem, particularly the more money we throw at traditional healthcare, let me put it that way, the worse it actually gets. That graph demonstrates that very clearly. We spend more money, we spend $4.3 trillion, but things are not getting better. So beyond the 7%, to make it a little more clear, here's some more numbers for you, just so we can really understand this picture. We're 4% of the entire population of the world, just 4%, but we account for 70% of pharmaceutical profits. 4% of the population, 70% of pharma profits. 50 to 90% of studies are funded by pharma. 60% of people live with a chronic disease. 4 out of 10 people live with 2 chronic diseases. 38%, this one is disturbing, 38% of 12 to 19-year-olds in America are diabetic, and the sperm count has dropped by 50% in the last 40 years. None of these are ideal things, as you guys know. So if I can say so very eloquently, looking at all those stats, again, that's messed up too. Life expectancy, let's put a little more context around this. Just 120 years ago, the norm was that we lived to be 47 years old. Also, starvation and malnutrition were around. Also, 30% of deaths happened in those who are 5 years old or less. So that obviously that stat drags down the average life expectancy of 47 years. Tuberculosis and pneumonia were the leading causes of death. So what was the difference? Sanitation and antibiotics, 2 really great innovations. However, we came out of that period of time with these great innovations, but now what we're stuck with is a Band-Aid society, and you deserve more than a Band-Aid society as it relates to our health care, especially with us spending the most. The system keeps you just healthy enough. This is something that, I've heard this for a long, long time. And for the longest time, it felt kind of like a conspiracy theory. Like, no, that's not the deal. They're not trying to just keep you just healthy enough. But I want to read this out to you. And I underline every single institution that impacts your health, and they make less money when you're healthy, to medical schools and even to insurance companies. So they don't want you dead. Obviously, that doesn't turn profit, right? I mean, it's just the truth. But keeping you sick is profitable. You're worth more when you're sick, and that's just a fact. And we've gotten really handy at building some really fancy Band-Aids. Again, we deserve more than a Band-Aid healthcare system. So I want to say this as well. I want to pick on a couple of professions. First is going to be doctors, but I want to be very clear about this. I really believe essentially nobody goes into medicine in order to take advantage of patients to get rich. I just don't think that is the guiding light. I don't think that is the intent. I believe that doctors are trapped in a broken system just like the rest of us, like you and I. And get this, doctors are the healers of our society. However, they have the highest burnout rate and the highest suicide rates of any profession. The healers are dealing with the highest suicide rates of any profession. And there's no other word that comes to mind for me than sad. Once again, thinking about doctors, in their day-to-day, being burned out. Every institution that impacts your health makes more money when you're sick. That's the system that they're within. Look at the incentives. It's not that they have ill intent. It's the intent. And to be very clear, as I know that you're attending tonight because you care about preventative medicine. I care about preventative medicine. However, the system does not incentivize professionals to care about preventative medicine. If they would pay for preventative medicine, I think this is a fact. Providers would find a way how to do it if they were incentivized, if they were paid to do it. But our Band-Aid healthcare system does not care about preventative medicine. Simple as that. Now, pharmacists. I'm not just going to pick on doctors. I'm going to pick on my own profession. This is the message we get a lot as pharmacists. Jay Smith is 40 years old and they're diabetic. You need to contact the doctor to initiate statin therapy. Now, I'm getting into incentives for pharmacies as well right here. This is a statement from the American Diabetes Association. Check this out, highlighted in purple. They recommend that individuals with diabetes, and even if they don't have cardiovascular risk factors, they should be treated with a statin regardless of their LDL cholesterol concentration. So if they're 40 and they're diabetic, they need to be using a statin no matter what. By the way, just a little footnote, the American Diabetes Association has taken money from Coca-Cola, lots of money, over lots of years. Just throwing that out there. Also, this is a statement that I heard all through pharmacy school from professors. Statins just need to be in the water. It's not that professors were telling us anything that was wrong, but as we went through disease states and looked through treatment guidelines, it was statin, statin, statin. And this was kind of the running joke. Statin should just be in the water. Now, I want to add more context to how how things work for pharmacies and pharmacists. As you probably know, I own North Century Pharmacy, and I ran a report for 2024 just a few days ago. And I want you to understand this because it's pretty crazy. We fill prescriptions that doctors write. So when we look back at 2024, all the prescriptions that we filled, that doctors wrote, we ordered the drug, and I ran a report on how many times did insurance pay us less than what the drug cost us. So I ran that report, and the total came out to be over $50,000. So we dispensed the drug, we got paid 6 weeks later or so, and we didn't even get reimbursed what the drug cost. Now, I'm not giving you a sob story, but I want to make the point that instead of fixing this issue in our healthcare system, the government is not fixing these types of problems, but here's something that they do. I put a dangling carrot there because that's what's going on with this whole situation of Jay Smith being 40, diabetic, needing a statin. Here, pharmacy, here's a carrot. We're not going to pay you to get this patient on a statin, but we're going to decrease the fees that we take out for you. So we're going to lessen the fees we take out if you get more people on statins. Maybe you're not surprised. My pharmacy doesn't participate in those requests. As a matter of fact, I was going to try to share some screenshots for this evening, and I logged onto the platform, and it had been so long, they said it'll take 10 business days to get us back up and going. So I wasn't able to share that with you. Also, we're incentivized by insurance to give people 90-day supplies. Now, I care about compliance deeply as a pharmacist. However, in the patient population in my pharmacy, we have 85% of our patients on a compliance program, whether it be through customized packaging or whether it be through our software. Contact us for prescription medications. So we have the adherence down. However, insurance is saying, because it's cheaper, that patient needs to only see you 4 times a year. So as a member of their healthcare team, and many of them thankfully cherish us in that way, insurance wants us to see them only 4 times a year, 90-day supplies. Also, the way all these incentives work together, when we ask for Jay Smith to get a statin from the doctor will say, hey, we're sending that over, but don't fill it. So on the doctor's end, they can say, hey, we sent it. That way they don't get insurance isn't breathing down their back, down their neck. They can show that they filled it. We paid to receive the prescription, and then we're told not to fill it, and then insurance says, hey, you're not filling these prescriptions. It's really complex. I know this sounds really messy, but it is really messy. And this is a prime example that most treatments are focused on managing symptoms rather than fixing root causes. And the truth is, my friend, you are not broken. The system is. I think we've already established that. I know you know that. So if it's okay, I want to take a step back in history. Over 20 years now. Sorry, I got a little cold, and I'm kind of excited about that, so I can share a point with you guys. Acute sickness is not the issue. It's the chronic issues that we're spending $4 trillion on. I'm taking my immunity supplements. I should be good by the end of this talk. 2004, this book came out, Overdosed America. You can see the red arrow on there. I've got an arrow pointing at the word statins on the front cover. This is 2004. A good friend of mine got this book, and he was all excited about it. He was telling me about it. Hey, look what's going on with our healthcare system in 2004. And I didn't tell him this. I really respected him. I looked up to him, but I was kind of offended. I was like, man, come on, like medicine saves lives. And I'll tell you that in 2025 as well. Medicine does save lives. But this book was popular in 2004. So back then, the seed was planted in my head already. I kind of knew in the back of my mind, like, are we really doing healthcare right in this country? So in 2004, I was already working in pharmacies. I was already giving people big bags of medicines. I knew that their kitchen counters at home probably looked like this right here. Fast forward 10 years, we opened North Century Pharmacy. This is a picture I took in 2014 out of the drive-through window. I put the deer and turkey there. If you can tell, they're not real, but there's a very real point to make. Very often we saw more wildlife outside of our drive-through than we saw people coming in the doors. There's a man on a tractor. Very beautiful picture. Not a real great location for a retail business. So we opened in 2014. If we're going to hang around, how are we going to hang around? We probably need to fill prescriptions, right? Well, that's right. But also, it's never been in me to want people to take lots of prescriptions. I don't want that for myself, my family. I don't want that for my patients either. I never wanted to be seen as a dispenser. A lot of people think that pharmacists are just really good counters, or like we can count to 30, great. Never really liked that. I wanted to be more of, I wanted to be seen as an answer, honestly. So, by the way, I think I want to interject for just a second, and I want to always make a point to say, I never want to come across as if I'm talking at both sides of my mouth. Prescriptions are bad. That's not what I mean. The truth is, I love modern medicine. This is my oldest daughter, Izzy Mae. She lives with a rare neurogenetic condition called Angelman syndrome. And I'm telling you, my friends, if it weren't for modern medicine, the outlook and the quality of her life would be much different. Angelman syndrome can be described very justifiably as a sleep disease. I'm not exaggerating. If she didn't get her medicines at night, modern medicines and natural together, if she didn't get her medicines at night, she wouldn't go to sleep at all. So needless to say, I'm very thankful for modern medicine. On top of that, Angelman syndrome there's such exciting research going on. Human clinical trials to cure this genetic condition. That's modern medicine. And I love modern medicine. So I never want to act like that I don't, or put off that I don't like modern medicine. But the fact is, modern medicine should not be first line for every problem every single time. And that's what we're seeing in this Band-Aid, again, society, healthcare society. So, yes, I am a pharmacist who prioritizes disease prevention over prescription dependency. And I don't think that should be such a taboo thing. So what was the shift for me as a pharmacist? Well, when I got out of school, I worked in the corporate world for a few years, and we were kind of like elves in Santa's workshop. Assembly line, how much volume can you churn out? Not a real great environment to really practice patient care the way that I thought it should be done, but that didn't matter. I was a product of those corporations. But I realized it's not only the health issues that these people have. Back in pharmacy school, when we're learning about different drugs and we're learning about side effects, along with that, we learn about deficiencies. So at the top, you can see a proton pump inhibitor, omeprazole, very popular medication, how it depletes magnesium and B12. At the bottom, you see a statin, which is Crestor, depleting CoQ10. And even in pharmacy school, I was like, hold on a second. We got these side effects going on, and we know that these depletions are happening. Why are we not talking more about this? But it wasn't a huge topic. So as a general rule, I've heard lots of different professionals share this opinion. Very generally speaking, when you take a prescription, it's contributing to around 10 different nutrient deficiencies. And I think it's crazy we don't talk about that more. So for me to actually serve as an answer, it's not about more prescriptions. It's not about churning out volume, on an assembly line. For me, like, one thing we can do to provide better patient care is address the deficiencies. So we got into, many years ago, we got into quality nutraceuticals. So there's CoQ10 on the left, quality magnesium on the right, magnesium glycinate. And I made these little informational sheets. I put them together myself, printed them out, taped them up in the front of the pharmacy. When people would come in and wait for their prescriptions, they would look at these, and we would have all these great conversations because of that. So if you look at the left, on the left diagram there, look at all the popular medication classes that deplete different B vitamins in that first column. You can see statins on the bottom depleting CoQ10. You can see all the things that deplete magnesium, vitamin D. It goes on and on. And then on the right, I made a guide to show them what happens when you have deficiencies. Like, if you're having these symptoms, it could be due to a deficiency. And so many people started to read these, and we started to have really important conversations. And CoQ10 on the left, people who took statins, who were taking it because the doctor said they should, and live with debilitating pain. I kid you not, within 72 hours of taking an appropriate CoQ10, their pains were gone for the first time in years. Over on the right, like I said, magnesium glycinate. It got to be popular in our little hometown here. People started coming in our store who had never been in before because their neighbor started using magnesium glycinate, or a family member. So it was really exciting to treat patients in this way. And more than ever, I knew that I didn't want to be known for dispensing pills. And what these pictures mean is a lot of people say pharmacists are really good at taking pills out of a big bottle and putting them into a little bottle. Not exactly something that gets me inspired. And as cheesy and cliche as this may sound, I wanted to actually change lives, and that's why I'm talking to you tonight. I still feel that way. So let's talk about why people stay stuck. And when I put these slides together, as I read this to myself, why people stay stuck, another word really came to mind. And I said to myself, I said, I think people really feel like they're drowning with so many different diagnoses they're given to see so many different doctors. So drowning seemed to be a more appropriate word. And I kid you not, 2 days ago, this is a message that I just got in our inbox. Check this out. I really feel like I'm drowning. Look at that word I circled. Just a confirmation of what my suspicion was right. It feels like yesterday when I was marveling at how good it felt to be in my own skin. And going down, she said, I'm disappointed in myself. And people shouldn't feel that way. The deal is, you don't have 10 different problems. You don't. But I'm going to go through a list of 10, if you allow me to, real quickly here. This is what happens so naturally in America today. You have high cholesterol, you go to a cardiologist for a statin. High glucose, you go to an endocrinologist for metformin. ADHD, go see a specialist for Adderall. Depressed, SSRI, like Zoloft. Insomnia, Ambien. Pain, opioid, PCOS, clomiphene. Erectile dysfunction, go to the urologist to get Viagra. Overweight, go to a specialist to get Wegovy. Sinus infections, let's talk about surgery. This is how it works. This is how it works. The deal is, though, you don't have 10 different problems. It's a systems issue. And when we look at common complaints like fatigue, weight gain, gut issues, and brain fog, so many times those things are actually all connected. I want to go through a quick real-world example that I had with a gentleman just about a month ago. He brought in this huge stack of lab work, and this is what really stood out to me as I went through his lab work. His TSH was a little high, thyroid-stimulating hormone. Uric acid was high, triglycerides high, HDL was a little low. Triglyceride to HDL ratio was high, which is indicative of insulin resistance, which is a major problem at the foundation of so many things. Testosterone was 306, vitamin D was 36.7. Taking a blood pressure medicine, 30% body fat. We did a body comp on him there at the pharmacy. 30% body fat and 39 pounds overweight. All right. Now, I want to be clear on this as well. I'm trying to be clear a lot with you guys. I'm not a diagnostician. I don't ever try to pretend to be one and get outside of my scope of practice. I will tell you very confidently, however, with these numbers, I could see a real path of him being on a statin, an NSAID, a PPI, and a gout med, and lots of deficiencies happening because of those four. And then there would just be more meds to stack on top of that. Now, in the symptoms, and I will say in this case, this gentleman went to his doctor, and he, after he got his lab work, he said, hey, I don't want to find myself taking a lot of prescription meds. And the doctor actually referred him to me to come talk to me. So I'm very appreciative of that. But we talked about how it's not about masking the symptoms. It's about addressing the causes so that you feel better for good. So we had really great conversations about insulin resistance and nitric oxide, how insulin resistance decreases nitric oxide and can increase blood pressure, gut health and inflammation. He's dealing with systemic inflammation. His diet was terrible. So we talked about that. We talked about improving body composition and how that can help balance hormones. When you have too much fat, it gets your estrogen and testosterone out of balance. So came away with a great plan. And the truth is, the reason you're here tonight is because you know that holistic medicine, it's trending because it actually works. And your body functions as a whole. It's one system. Well, we need to recognize that. And the beauty of it is it does not have to be hard, even though others would lead you to believe that. It does not have to be hard. So you do now, knowing all this, right first, system won't fix itself. We've already talked about that. And waiting for change is not going to help. Fact number 2, if you want to have real health, you have to take control in order to have real health. And, a quick example, I can count it on two hands where a patient goes to the doctor. The doctor tells them, hey, you're diabetic. Here's a prescription. They walk into the pharmacy with a piece of paper, a prescription for metformin, and they tell us, hey, I'm going to get this filled, but I'm not going to take this for life. I'm not going to take a lot more meds on top of it. And they say, I'm going to turn things around. And I've seen it happen some, and it's beautiful, but it doesn't happen nearly enough. But if you want to have real health, you have to be the one to take control of it. So I'm going to lay out 5 key steps here. Step number 1 is surround yourself with others who share your goal. Now, you've heard you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So my goal tonight is not to have you kicking people out of your household whatsoever. But there is something to be said about who you associate with. You do become more like them. So surround yourself with people who have the same goals as you. Community matters. Step number 2, find experts who actually want you to be healthy, who don't have a box of Band-Aids, and who don't just want to prescribe more meds. I'm telling you that as a pharmacist, my friends. Step number 3, know your numbers. I can't overstate this enough. You can't fix what you don't track. Said another way, what gets measured gets improved. So know your numbers. Step 4, start small. I do want to speak briefly about supplements here because I think this is a really easy lever to pull for people, and I underline the word right. The right supplements can be a gateway to real change. Not just any supplements, but taking the right ones, you can look different, you can feel different, it can open up possibilities to make bigger difference. It's a first step, it's a momentum builder. Excuse me. And lastly, give it to you straight again. Stop second guessing everything. And I know it's easy to do. We're over flooded with so much information. This is the time to stop guessing if you're gonna make real change. So 2 words that come to mind when we talk about stop guessing: clarity and confidence. When we have a conversation with patients, or when I work with a patient one-on-one, and they allude to these 2 words or some version of them, clarity and confidence, I love that. So inject those into your health decisions. So going back to the very first of this presentation, about 30 minutes ago, we talked about 93% of Americans are not able to call themselves healthy. And yes, I believe that's messed up. Very eloquently again, said another way, that means only 7% are metabolically healthy. And that's a crisis. So when we get back to the title of this, the elite 7%, that's not what it's about. Actually, it's not about joining this elite club. It's not about doing that. It's actually about making that number bigger. We're serious about that. So I ask you to think about this just for a second. What if 5 years from now, 50% of Americans were healthy? It wasn't 7, it was 50%. Your actions today create that reality. So my philosophy, this is something that I'm obsessed with solutions. So maybe overly obsessed with solutions, but this is about acknowledging the problem and its impact, which we've done so far, but fiercely seek out the solution. I like a ratio of 10% problem, 90% solution. So let's talk about that. NCPlus was launched 1 year ago today. I rented out a studio. We did this huge event, this unveiling. I worked on this thing for 9 months. I birthed this baby 1 year ago today. And we really built it as not just another membership, but we built it to be a community. And 1 year into it, I'm excited to share some things with you. If you look at traditional healthcare, we're talking about long wait times. We're talking about rushed appointments, 7 minutes with the doctor, and no answers. And this is a stat that I'm not, I think it's disappointing, but I think it's probably true. The average practitioner is 17 years behind the data, which is crazy. Now, compare that to NCPlus, you're looking at ongoing guidance. You have trusted experts. We have Dr. Sheila in the chat right now. I see her down there. And you have personalized solutions and decision support. Again, not overthinking everything. And the 2 words pop up again for me: clarity and confidence. So I'm going to share a bit of this, if you don't mind. A year into it, this is the kind of stuff we're seeing. She's amazed at how wonderful she feels since starting Vitality Mix, which is a piece of our 7-day detox. And she can't stop telling her friends and clients. She's a hairstylist, so she's always telling her story. She's an HRT evangelical, as she says, and Vitality Mix is now part of her sermon, community, and giving us alternative options. So I love to see that here on the first anniversary of NCPlus. shouting hooray with first supplements and advice that works. With the help of Berberine 5X, my husband's A1C is down from 5.8 to 5.4. LDL is down from 102 to 73. Check out these lab results. Total cholesterol down from 290 to 120. LDL went from 204 to 60 in 4 months. She did the 7-day detox. Feels better. Lost 6 pounds, which isn't bad either, right? Blood work done. This is the one on the bottom here now. Vitamin D was at 20, and it was up to 48.1 in about 5 weeks. So we're talking about results. So this community is about putting the power back in your hands so that you can make decisions about your health, informed decisions. And trust me, you guys have lots of questions. I monitor our inboxes nonstop. Admittedly, probably 24/7. What's the best magnesium for osteoporosis? Best supplements for my husband and myself. He has high blood pressure, low testosterone, low energy. What are your suggestions? I purchased these products. Can I take them all 3? Is this safe to take with my prescription meds? I've had shingles. What's the best way to approach this? I'm 55. I want to lose 20 pounds. Fatty liver, high blood pressure, LDL, high fasting glucose, brain fog, undiagnosed ADD. Again, all this stuff so often works together. Take a ton of supplements, but I'm hoping to find some that really help. What should I take? Question here about probiotics and also collagen. What's the best way to use those? How about enzymes for autoimmune conditions like Hashimoto's and lupus? Lots of questions. And here's what's happened. I feel heard by NCPlus, and the follow-ups outstanding. She thinks we're not gimmicky salespeople, so I very much appreciate that. Love the fact there's several folks here to help answer questions. Vitamin D went from 20 to 70. What else? Fiber for gut health. Thank you for your help. This is a nice one the team stuck in here for me. I appreciate Easton had a great idea. So I appreciate you guys putting that one in there. I thank you too. Loving all the information. And then I love in the weekly newsletter. It keeps me engaged with topics that I wouldn't otherwise research. And I won't read this word for word to you as much as I want to. Feel free to take a screenshot and read it yourself. But I will go to the last paragraph because she very eloquently sums this up. Seriously. My love for this platform can be summed up in a few key areas. Informative courses, which I'll talk about in a second. Robust resource library. A supportive community. Commitment to quality. So she feels equipped to navigate the often overwhelming world of supplements with confidence. And that's what we're out to do. So I love that. So here we are, year 2. And this year is about a word that's been clinging to me. It's been living rent-free in my head for months now. And that word is outcomes. 1 year ago, we launched this. Let's get it off the ground. Let's make it work. Let's see what people want. Let's build it the way they want it. And more appropriately, this year is about more outcomes, really. So this is about tracking progress, seeing measurable improvements. And we're talking about metabolic health, body composition, and things like that, which is what really makes people healthy, where they can actually call themselves healthy. Let's help them get those outcomes churning. So it's about more of these. So here's some outcomes that I'm excited to share with you. Blood sugar is down to 74. Triglycerides normal. And total cholesterol down 20 points. Vitamin D was at 22.5. She did another test. It was at 11. Through our support and our resources, she went from 11 to 71 on her vitamin D. Very important, especially as it relates to cancer. This lady's talking about how she loves taking berberine, but it's not about the scale. It's her clothes. Her clothes, even down to her undergarments. How about that? Great testimonial here about lipid improvement using bergamot. And again, here's this one again. We love it a lot. Total cholesterol went down from 290 to 120, and LDL went from 204 to 60. Lost 6 pounds on the detox. Feels better, mind, body, and soul. Doesn't get much better than that. So here's just a quick example of the courses that we have. We got a few of these. I'm going to be building out more of these this year as well. This is a screenshot from the detox course. So you may have heard about our 7-day detox. We have a detailed video course that walks you through each day. You can see the video is 2 minutes and 44 seconds. So really small, digestible videos to help engage you and educate you in ways that you actually feel empowered. This is our resource library. We have a bunch of these cards. We got 50 plus and growing. We're talking about magnesium, how to choose it, probiotics, creatine, improving depression. So we're going we're looking at credible, legitimate studies and sharing those findings with you guys in here, so you don't have to go look for it. A standing 10% discount on all supplements. Like, I want to give that to you guys. I want you to, if you're going to engage with us, you're going to trust us, I want you to have that perk as well. Launching this week, really excited about this. This is a leaderboard. So essentially, all you got to do is get in and engage with this community, and you unlock stuff. So you unlock special discounts, actually free swag, and I won't, as much as I want to, I won't go into too much detail right now, but discounts on personalized consultations where you can actually have a one-on-one consultation and go through everything in your specific situation. All right. So, new for the first time ever, actually. You guys are about to see this for the first time. Year two, my question was, what can we do to give people even more control? How can we put more power in your hands? And also, we want to watch you become the strongest, healthiest version of you. State the obvious. We're not doing this. It is fun, but it's not only for fun. We want to see these outcomes. How can we help you be stronger and healthier? Another guiding principle. How can we equip you to unlock that version? So after months of strategizing and handpicking exactly what to give you, I got goosebumps a little bit right now because I'm about to show you what I've been working on behind the scenes. This is the North Century Pharmacy Unlock Functional Genetic Test. And if you can't tell, I'm very proud of it. Matter of fact, I had to put, ain't it pretty? Just so you know, we're a tiny company, and our products, our labels, I design all those myself. I name our products. If you don't think it's pretty, if you think our stuff looks terrible, just keep that in the privacy of your own home. I enjoy doing that stuff. That gives me joy. But this test is something that I'm very passionate about. I'm going to get into it now. Of all the things I could have picked to release in year two, why did I pick a functional genetic test? Well, your body is one of a kind. And I don't mean that in a rah-rah, you're special kind of way. Necessarily, you are special. But what I mean by that is that without knowing this information, use your body without having all the info that you need. And why am I calling it Unlock? Well, we want to unlock that healthiest, strongest version of you, as I said. And also, we want to help you decode which genes are working and which ones are not from a functional perspective. So, 3 guiding principles that I used as I've worked a lot over the past few months to make this come to fruition. Number 1, I wanted to make it digestible. I've done lots, being in my position, I've done lots of testing over the years, and it's always a letdown when you click on that PDF and it's 150 pages. It's all this, so many details to where it's just, hard to believe that a lot of people actually sit down and read it and understand the information. Number 2, actionable. You have the info, but what are you going to do about it? It was important to make this test actionable. And number 3, data-driven. The field of genetics is very interesting. A lot of people, they hear about these genetic variants and whatnot, and then they understand later on that, like, hey, that's not really backed in all that much data. It's more of a theory. So when we did this, when I worked along experts to handpick these aspects of the test, we actually did literature reviews as we did that. It was excruciating to go through and pick it, but it was important for it to be data-driven. Now, I want to be very clear about this too. 100% data privacy. I know this is important, as it should be to lots of people when we talk about anything genetic. This is a simple cheek swab, but the laboratory, the company we're collaborating with on this, is family owned. They have no corporate ties. They were actually the first in the world to market genetic data privacy. They have a promise. They've also they had a promise from the get-go, and they still have the promise to never sell or allow third-party companies to access your data. They have bank-grade encryption, no outsourcing. They use their own in-house machines. So that was all. If we were going to do something like this, that was a must for me. So I want you to be 100% confident in that aspect of it. 43 pieces of hand-picked genetic information. So we're looking at mental health, gut health, weight gain, brain fog, thyroid issues, sleep issues. Let me get my slides going here. Okay. I want to go through 7 things. Real quickly, this is not the time or place to get into the weeds as much as I would love to, but I want to give you some highlights. There's more stuff we're gonna be able to show you later as far as what's included with the test. MTHFR, that's a big one. Most of you guys have heard about this. MTHFR can play into depression, anxiety, ADHD, estrogen issues, migraines, along with MTHFR. COMT, that kind of goes hand in hand with it. ADHD, addiction is a big aspect of COMT. Migraines, sleep issues, restless leg. All right, let's keep it going. Lipids, LDL, HDL, and triglycerides, which both of those things can help you decode, if you're insulin resistant or not. Diet response to fats, that's going to be included. Oxidative stress, I don't think this is talked about nearly enough. We're talking about fatigue, joint pain, memory loss, premature aging, skin disorders. We're going to have a whole page on brain health, ApoE4. So we're looking at Alzheimer's risk. We're looking at plaque clearance, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, learning, memory, whole page on brain stuff. CYP1A2, this is one that I love. This is an enzyme that's responsible for caffeine processing. So it can help you understand how you should or shouldn't be interacting with caffeine. Also, it plays into melatonin. And I included that because melatonin it's on the upswing from not just being a simple sleep tool. It's being recognized for lots of other things like inflammation and its anti-inflammatory properties. And last but not least, nutrients. Which nutrients are you predisposed to being deficient in? So we're looking at vitamin D, magnesium, zinc, B12, folate, vitamin A, vitamin E, iron, and more than that as well. So you can understand, hey, I need to be sure I'm paying attention to magnesium because I'm genetically predisposed to that. Also, I'm going to say it again. I know I keep saying it. I want to be really clear with you guys. Some of these companies, through my lens, they kind of act like, hey, you just swab your cheek with this test and your whole life changes. And I just don't believe that to be true. The reason I put the piano on here is that the keys are your genetic information. Those hands are you. You play the piano. You play the keys. And this is a way to help you make more informed decisions. I'm not advertising this, and I didn't do this as something to over-exaggerate. However, I do feel like, obviously, it's a very powerful tool. Again, those 2 words keep popping up, confidence and clarity. That's what this is all about. And what I'm really excited about with this is to give you a resource that says, because of this, consider this. And that means because of this genetic result, you might want to consider these supplements. Now, and I want to be clear again, it's not about here's 43 genetic outputs, here's 43 supplements you need to take. What this can do is help you understand how you can streamline and make the best decisions for what the right supplements are for you, and we can help you with that. So, talk about pricing real quick, because I think this is kind of crazy. There's at least one test out there that gives you 8 pieces of genetic info, and they charge $600 for that. And I can't help but just say that that's wrong. For us, we're not giving you 8 pieces. We're giving you 43 pieces, and we're not going to charge anywhere close to $600. As a matter of fact, I have a question mark on this page because you can't even go into our shop and get this test. And you can slice this any way you want to. I'm calling it $0. Instead of $600 for 8 pieces, we're giving you 43 genetic pieces for $0. And I say that because every unique body, not just everybody, every unique body who either comes into NCPlus brand new or re-ups for year number 2 is going to get one of these mailed to them. Free shipping as well, straight to your door. So you can join today, get your annual pass to NCPlus for $197. I think that comes out to be $16.42 a month. And truthfully, just like I said, I'm so excited about this. I don't want to. There's no hiding that. I'm really excited about this. It took a lot of work, just to be honest, and still working out some details on some things. But with that being said, I really don't want you to join just for this. There's so much more to the community than this gift that we're going to be giving you. What you get are direct answers to your biggest questions. You get a community led by experts. Again, Dr. Sheila's in here with us now. Excuse me. You get a guided start here experience. So you know exactly what to do when you come into the community. You get a members only leaderboard, which we talked about, how you can unlock free things and discounts. You get a 10% discount on everything going forward once you come into the community. You get a community manager who has 39 years of nursing experience and who's a published author and who's on top of every comment that comes in at a freakishly fast pace. And you get the resource library. There's more than this, but these are the highlights. And again, you get the free gift when you join this time around. $197. It's like $16.42 a month. I think is what it comes out to be. How it used to feel. We talked about this last year when we formed this community. Like, what's our guiding principles of what's the reason to even release or make NCPlus? It's because people don't feel heard, that they don't know who to trust, and they don't know what to do with the information that's out there, and how this can make you feel. In contrast, it can make you feel heard. It can give you advice that you can trust, and we're here to help you know what to do. This community works. We've seen the results now. I've already shared some of that with you. Check this out. This lady, they ordered new scrubs at work. She got a smaller pant size. Like, there can never be enough of these. We love these. And to put it bluntly, nobody's coming to save you. You remember the graphic from the first of this presentation about how we spend the most and we don't get the ROI on living longer. Nobody's coming to save you, and also you don't have to do it alone. And that's what this is about. So again, you get your answers, you get your questions answered. You get the community. You get the Start Here experience. You get the leaderboard with all the perks. You get the 10% discount on everything going forward. You get the community manager. You get Dr. Sheila, and you get myself in there as well. And you get the resource library and the free test, which I don't even know how to price it. I know people charge $600 for 8 pieces. We're giving it. Yeah, Sharon, I see you say this is an amazing gift. I think it is too. We tried to really blow your socks off last year with starting this and just be as generous as we could be. And I knew I had to do something special this year, so I appreciate that. So if you're ready to join, if you're not in already, join NCPlus.com is where you can go to get going. And I do want to say, sometimes good things take time. I've shared a lot of testimonials, and I hope you can tell that it's really important to me to be authentic and not try to come across as somebody who is trying to over-exaggerate or just get people to buy something, as a knee-jerk reaction. These testimonials you've seen, these are people who have been very intentional and they've taken the time to make things work. And while good things do take time, they can take a lot of less time if you have the community, if you have all those tools and the clarity and the confidence like we talked about. So I put this in my presentation last year, 1 year ago today. I said, let's do this. And I added something this year. I say, let's do this together. And that's what we've been doing. And we're so excited to do more of it this year. This community is very life-giving to all of us who are involved with it. And I really mean that. So again, this community, at the bottom, you can see it again. You're going to get this free test that's priced at who knows what. If it was in somebody else's hands, you're going to get it for free. You're going to get your answers. You're going to get the community, the Start Here experience, the leaderboard, the discount, the community manager and the experts, and the resource library. That's always going to be growing more and more. This is my last slide, guys. We get this one life to live. This is a statement that I made last year, and another kind of guiding principle of this whole thing. We get this one life to live and this one body, and it's our calling to make the absolute best of it. So once again, you can go to join NCPlus. There's 2 N's back to back there. Join NCPlus.com. That'll take you right to the page. you will get access to the community. You'll get the perks immediately as far as that goes. Please bear with us as we prepare to ship out tons of these functional genetic tests. As a reminder, everything comes out of our 1,200 square foot store here in Kentucky. So we'll be shipping those out ourselves. Give us some time to get those together, please. So maybe expect those to be shipped out to you on their way at least within about 2 weeks. You'll do the simple swab at home, and then we'll work on next steps to get the actual report to you. But you can join now. You can get in. You can engage. I would love to see that. I'll be checking back in tonight to see how things are going. And we'll get that free gift sent to you. Again, we're covering the shipping on that as well, so that'll come straight to your door. Man, thank you guys so much for showing up. I've been trying to watch the comments a little bit. I know we've had some buffering issues, so really sorry about that. We tried to do all the troubleshooting we can, but you know how technology goes. So thank you for being patient with that. Thank you for being here, and thank you for paying attention to our little business. And I always call it little, but it is. And that doesn't mean that we can't do big things. We can't do special things, especially with you guys supporting us. So not just saying that. I appreciate you guys so much. I don't take it for granted. And let's have a fantastic 2025. Who knows what's going to come? Getting this genetic test rolled out was a big thing, a big project. Still got some details to work out with the report end of things. But anything we can do to provide value, I'm here for it. And I want you guys to always share feedback. I'll keep rambling if I don't shut up now. So thanks again for showing up live. The replay will be available as well. But appreciate you so much, and I'll close this out.